every year I either jump on a bus with a group of people or I drive to Lancaster, PA. I love going there because they have a theater called the Sight and Sound Theater, and they have these wonderful Old Testament Bible stories that I get to see. They only have one other Bible story that's not Old Testament, and that's Jesus. But every year, this is an annual trip for me. This time, I'm going to talk to you about this year's trip where we actually drove. Okay, we stayed, four of us stayed at a resort called the Hershey Farm Resort. I love this place. And I only go to this place when we're driving because we just love this place because it's huge. You got lots of land, and I'll go into more detail about this. But this is my third visit at this location. So my friends and I were there two other times before, and then there was a fire. The fire burned down the whole buffet area, the store area. The only things that didn't burn was the hotel and some of the other buildings that's on this property. So they rebuilt it, and it's brand new. So this third visit was like, oh my gosh, like we're going to a whole different location because of the newness. So I love the larger buffet area. The area is so much more roomier, so much more open air. The other buffet was kind of dark and old style, lots of dark wood because of that air. But now this is totally open air. We just love it. And then there's a whole lot more selection of food opportunities. And then they also added something called a Cafe 23, where, basically is a lot of coffee stuff, but they have a lot of different sandwiches and meals in there too for like a quick snack or a smaller type of meal that's not a buffet, a little bit more controlled meal for you. And so we took advantage of going to both of those locations because that first day we wasn't all set for a buffet anyway, so the cafe was perfect because I got some kind of panini sandwich, can't even remember what it was, with a drink and something else, but it was just what I needed. I didn't need any buffet after having driven from Cleveland to Lancaster. So there's also they had to rebuild the shopping area. So the shopping area is fabulous. I bought my usual journals because that's another reason why I go to Lancaster, because then I can get some inexpensive journals, because I always tell people, if you want to give me a gift, you can always give me a journal of any kind, like any color, any shade, any pages, numbers, it doesn't matter, because I'm going to use them. I'll stack them up. And right now it just so happened that I was low on journals, so it was a time to replenish. But like I said, I've never have an oversupply of journals, and this location always has some fabulous, Lancaster, PA in general has a lot of fabulous choices of journals without breaking the bank. So this location here, the Hershey Farm Resort, has various type of room selections for you. They have regular hotel rooms, some of which have balcony and patios, and it's, like I said, enclosed in a hotel with interior rooms. And then they have the carriage house, where those are all exterior rooms, and they're similar to the hotel room, but they're exterior rooms. And then the farmhouse, they have larger rooms with exterior doors too. They have lots of seating areas outside, patios, balconies, not patio and balconies, what I'm trying to say, pavilions where you can go out and as a group sit and talk and chit chat and all that kind of stuff. So, because it's a farmhouse, and it's not even like a it's interesting why they even call it a farmhouse, because I don't know what they call it a farmhouse, because it's several different suites with exterior doors, all different size type of rooms. Maybe because it's like a house in a way, but not a house, and the bedrooms are different, but they're exterior doors, and you can just come outside and sit and lounge and be outside. And then they have what they call lofts. Lofts is actually verbals. So those are actually a full house. So if you got a big family that want to gather there, then they stay in these verbals. And everybody knows what a verbal is like. It's like a Airbnb where you go there and you have a lot of space, bedrooms, kitchen, blah, 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 a full house. And that's kind of cool there. So maybe one day I might do that. But that would have to have a large group of us in order to do that. And since it was only four of us, we didn't need nothing of that size. So the carriage house, I have stayed. This is the first time I stayed in the carriage house. The other two times with friends, we stayed in a farmhouse. So I like both of them. Even though I grew up on staying in motels, which means a place with exterior doors, usually around a parking lot. And that's my least favorite accommodations. I'll just say I'm a snob with that. That's my least favorite accommodation because it's an exterior door, safety reasons, that kind of stuff. But this location, the carriage house and the farmhouse, even though they have exterior doors, they're not doors that lead out to a parking lot or lead out to a street or anything like that. Feel quite safe because this location is huge. It's massive. You'll see in the next slide some pictures of how big this place is because it's acres and acres and acres big because it used to really be a farm. That's why it is. And some of it is still kind of farmy because they got a lot of animals that they feed there. But anyway, I feel quite safe with the exterior doors, mainly in this case because I'm an outdoor person. I like the idea of being able to step out of my accommodations into the outdoors. I have not tried the hotel yet just because I'm liking the carriage and the farmhouse so far. Anyway, so just really love that. So let's just go to our next slide. Now this is a view of what the exterior looks like. I mean, it's acres and acres, and these are just a snapshot, so I can't even give you all the pictures of how big this place is. But you can see the pond there with the water. They got chairs, they got animals in pens and cages, and then we got the free range geese and ducks and all kind of waterfowl that's there, bridge there, all kind of stuff. It's huge, so huge that they have a 1 mile walking track, 1 mile walking trail, not a track, a 1 mile walking trail, and that we always walk around there that we can get our walk on. And then another reason why I really love this location is because it's right next door to the Sight and Sound Theater. So when it's time to go to the theater, we just merely walk right next door and we're all good to go. And then the various animals that they have in those cages are animals like llamas and peacocks and goats and all kind of other kind of stuff. They also have a little playground for the kids. And I just love this place, especially now that it has a new and improved atmosphere because of a fire. So that was probably one of the best things that might have happened because it really improved it. It was fabulous before, but now it's like, wow. This will be the place I will always come when I'm driving because I just love the spaciousness, the mileage around it, the acreage around it, and the fact that it's right next door to my favorite theater so I can see the show. And then the show, the Sight and Sound Theater, which is right next door, that's huge too. This location has been there over 50 years, and it's a must come because they always show some kind of Old Testament Bible story, and then only one Bible story that's not Old Testament is called Jesus. However, even with the Old Testament Bible stories, Jesus always come into the story somewhere near the end. So Jesus is always in all of them, even though it's an Old Testament story. And we already know Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit were here in the beginning in Genesis. So he's all through the book of the Bible anyway. So that's how they even pull him in. So this show we saw this year was Noah. I have seen Noah before, and I'm thinking within the last 5 years. And they have a rotation of all the New Old Testament stories that they have. And I don't know what that rotation is. They used to show us, but now I don't see it on the website anymore. So they have a rotation of these stories, and there's only maybe 2 that I haven't yet to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing those when they come in the rotation. And next year is going to be Joshua, and that's going to be brand new, so that's not old. So that's a new one. So I'm looking forward to that. So because this was the 30th anniversary and I had already seen Noah before, I had no problem with going to see it again because I've seen Moses twice too. And sometimes when they do that rotation like that, it could be a different crew, it could be a different people that's doing the play. So, or they even changed a little bit of how they did it. It still is always spectacular. This one, I can't even remember if it looked probably about the same, but it was all good because it was the 30th anniversary of that particular play. I said, oh no, there's no way I'm not going to miss this year because I want to see that. And it's hard to miss any year, even if it's a repeat. I just love going there, just love being in Lancaster because I love plays. And it's not very, and it's inexpensive compared to some of the locations like at Playhouse Square here in Cleveland. The cost of being in any of the tickets in this location is very affordable. Even back in the day, which I thought was crazy because that was unusual, back in the day, all the ticket seats were the same. Now they have gotten to be like most theaters where the best seats cost more and the ones that the least favorite spot is less expensive. Now they got those broke down. But back in the day when they was doing this, they were all the same price, and I love that. So it's just a matter of first come, first serve, picking that particular seat when you made your purchase. It's not first come, first serve. Get there, you have to buy your ticket ahead of time like any other theater. But just the fact that they were all costing the same was like, woo. And me, I always love to be in this particular theater on the second or third row. And this time we were on the second row. Yeah. So I like to be close up where I could see these people, the spit coming off of their face, their sweat coming off their face. And the cool part about this theater, unlike any other theater, the theater action is all around you, all around you, all around you. Not just on the stage in front, it's to the left, to the right of you. They're coming from the back, they're coming from the sides. So this is definitely a theater where once the theater starts, the doors will be closed because they got live animals coming through. They got actors and actresses coming through all over the place. So if you came in after it was open, you would get in the way of the show. So this is not one you can go to and be late. You got to be on time. Once the doors close, it's done until intermission, and then vice versa. They close it again after intermission. So I just love it. The live animals, people all around you. It's like being in a circus, watching a circus, but the circus is all around you, not just looking down at the three rings from above. So this is another reason why I love coming to this particular theater, because it is live in action. You are in the play. And then just like with this Noah, we were in the ship because it's all around us. You can see the animals in the cages all around you. So you're inside the ship. I mean, I'll never forget the other ones I've been to, like Moses. We were in the middle of the sea as it opens up. So, yeah, that's another reason why I go, because it's just a theater on steroids. It's just so much better, so much better. And seeing the Bible come to life in the stories that they play out. So I'm looking forward to coming back to this particular location. So every year I'm doing this, whether I'm on a bus in a group or whether I'm in a car with friends. I really kind of like the car with friends better because it gives me the freedom of driving and having our own schedule, where with a bus trip, you got to go with the schedule that and the tours that the tour has laid out. But I love doing that because I will not stop going on a bus trip in a heartbeat, because if no friends want to go drive with me, I'm on a bus. So, and the cool part about being on a bus, there's a lot more friends or relationships. You get to see a few other tours and locations that maybe I hadn't seen before. So either one is good. It's just a matter of what God is planning for me. So we'll see next year if I'm back here at Shady Maple, back here at the Hershey Farm Resort with friends in a car or on a bus. Either way, it's an annual affair. Unless God tells me I can't go, I'm there. So now I'll just give you a little extra information that had nothing to do with this particular trip. Shady Maple Smorgasbord is actually my favorite buffet. I love the Hershey Farm New Farm Resort buffet, but it does not compare to the Shady Maple Smorgasbord location here. This is a huge buffet, and it has a huge shopping area underneath. But on the top with the smorgasbord, it is the largest and best buffet. It was selected as number 1 in 2024 with USA Today 10 best Reader's Choice best buffet. And it is huge. The food is limitless. It's like, oh my gosh, everything you want is there. So if you go there, you are going to hurt. You're going to be rolling out of there because there's so much food, so many desserts, oh my gosh, all the meat choices. It's just a lot. And then when you finish doing that and roll yourself downstairs, they'd have this huge shopping area that is immense. Huge. Nothing like the Hershey Farmer Resort either, because it's the same size. The building is the same size as the buffet upstairs. So that shopping is like intense. This is where I normally get my supply of journals. So I like to come here and get my journals. And like I said earlier, I think I said that anybody that wants to give me a gift, journals of all kinds, colors, shapes, pages is a perfect gift for me, because it will get used somewhere. So here, this inexpensive, I get my journals here, I come out with a stack of journals. So this because we were staying at the Hershey Farm Resort this year and loving every minute there, we chose not to leave the resort. We just spent all our time there. So I bought my journals at their particular shopping area instead, which was just fine. And I didn't quite miss Shady Maple at all because I was enjoying the new of the Hershey Farm Resort. So who knows? Maybe next year I'll get back to Shady Maple if I go on a bus or even with this. Because the other two times we stayed at Hershey Farm Resort, we did drive and leave to go to Shady Maple, but this time we didn't because everything was so new and it was like we were at a whole brand new resort. So didn't miss going there. Ooh, it was so good. But I just wanted to drop that in there because I just wanted to make sure that if you go to Lancaster, you must go to the Shady Maple Smorgasbord, and then the Hershey Farm Resort would be the second choice because I love both of those places. Lots of good food, lots of good eating. So this is just a little information on the Hershey Farm Resort and the Sight and Sound Theater. The Hershey Farm Resort is located at 240 Hartman Bridge Road in Ronks, PA, 17572. Their phone number is 717-687-8635. But you can make your reservations on the HersheyFarm.com website. That's a whole lot easier, and then you can make your selections and look at all the pictures of all the different resort styles, the room styles, accommodation styles, pictures of the buffet area, everything. So you can just go on the website and just be, say I'm ready to go. And then the Sight and Sound Theater is 300 Hartman Bridge Road, Ronks, PA, 17572. Their phone number is 800-377-1277, and their website is sight.sound.com. Also, I forgot to mention that Sight and Sound Theater has two locations. They have another location in Branson, Missouri. Like, who the heck is Bronx? Branson, Missouri. I've been wanting to somehow one day take a trip to Branson just to see that other location because the theater is the identical floor plan of the Pennsylvania one, but I would like to go there just to say I've been there once, seen one of their shows, and then enjoy Branson because Branson has a whole lot to offer, which has nothing to do to the Sight and Sound Theater. So maybe one day God will give me that opportunity. Just don't know how I would do that, whether drive or jump on a bus with somebody. But anyway, here we go. I just hope you get a chance to come to the Sight and Sound Theater, go to Pennsylvania, stay at any particular resort because there's other resorts besides Hershey Farm. Hershey Farm has just happened to be my fave. So hope you get a chance to go to any of these locations and get the chance to enjoy the theater at the Sight and Sound Theater.